Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Duke, and this is my YouTube channel. So, today's video, got some notes to help me jailbreak your mind. Jailbreak your mind from the world, from the ego's game. Ego in this context, I'm referring to like a false sense of self. You could say we all believe we're an ego. We all base our identity on bodily identity. So we believe we're a race, we believe we're an age, we believe we're our own personal story that we tell ourselves as being born as a body to such and such family in such and such country. Most of us have some story of our struggles and victimizations and successes and our genes, the things about us as a body that we believe were passed on down to us by others. You could say this is the fool's game, and it was set up to fool us into believing we're a separated individual and not an infinite mind or infinite consciousness. If we seen ourselves as infinite consciousness, there would be no strangers, and we wouldn't have countries, we wouldn't have races, all that stuff would be seen as just superficial nonsense, something to free your mind from. It's actually something that enslaves us, it imprisons us, because false knowledge is taught by all of the major systems that we respect. Science, religion. Science teaches separation science. Science hasn't moved into the new paradigm yet, which eventually it will. A new paradigm where we see that we've been wrong. Science's theories about physical matter are actually somewhat in the dark. And new sciences are coming about today and revealing it. It's just, it hasn't been accepted into mainstream science just yet. It means a total revolution of our world, and that's what's happening now as old systems are breaking apart. So my list here is, one of the main keys is to recognize you're in a sleeping state. Without this basic humility, nothing can really be done for us. We have to be able to observe, to look in a mirror and look at ourselves and see the biological machine staring back at us and know that we're under its spell. We have to know that the thoughts we hear and think are not even really our own thoughts, but they're the rumblings of a programmed biological machine, also referred to as a bot, a programmed biological machine. We're all bots. We were born into a bot world. It's just we can find a purpose, the purpose of awakening, to awaken from the dream of being a programmed biological machine and remember our true identity, who we really are. So the first step is recognize you're in a sleeping state. Admit to yourself that the five senses are actually deceiving you, that the five senses are like seeing the sky through a straw. You're only seeing a tiny fraction of reality. Really, this is a multi-dimensional reality, but we see it as physical matter. Nothing here is solid at all. That's why the old saying that there never was a world. The world, the physical universe and the world that we perceive in our mind it's just a belief. It's just an idea. It doesn't exist at all like we think it does. It's actually thought. It's all happening in our mind. Not our brain, but our mind. All the bodies and the entire time-space projection is actually happening in one mind, and that one mind is you. In that sense, we are God, but that can be very misunderstood if the ego identifies itself as God. And you have the ism, the I, self, me. So seeing beyond the game of body ID, this comes naturally with this kind of thinking. You see you're not a race. You're nothing what you've been told, because everything relates, all our identity is pinned down based on our body. That's why we have all this poverty thinking, and we think we're limited. The body is made to put a limit on our infinite mind. The body, in a sense, is like a prison for our infinite mind. We're infinite consciousness, but it's like we're confined to an aging, dying body that is basically scared of a tiny little speck it can't even see. That's how afraid we are and how weak we are as a body. So we have to remember that this is not who we really are. So recognize or become aware of guilt projection is another important one. The guilt game. So individuality and specialness, bodily identity, rely on seeing guilt in others. Don't judge yourself for doing this, but just recognize it in yourself when you're doing it. Seeing guilt in others, watching the news, being entertained by the idea that someone else other than you is committing these evil atrocities. Just recognize it in yourself. We all do it. No matter how spiritual we think we are and how filled with love and light we are, we're all caught up in this guilt projection game, because this is what keeps us stuck in individuality. It's what keeps the game going. Winners and losers, good guys and bad guys, guilty and innocent. We just have to see it for what it is. It's a game. Become aware of how much you don't want to see everyone the same. You know, that's another thing. Deeply recognizing yourself. Don't pretend that this is love and light. In other words, don't pretend you're spiritual, but recognizing yourself, just how much you've bought into this game of not seeing others as the same, of how much we all play into the game of specialness, love and hate, and how much we don't see the Christ or the Spirit, whatever you choose to call it, Buddha nature, in everyone. It's a love that includes all. And that's what we're not familiar with. The world doesn't teach that. Jesus taught it, but they put all the emphasis on worshiping him. Let's see, I'm on my own, but it's not my fault. Be aware of this game in yourself. Being born as a baby sets up this condition, is that I'm on my own, I'm a separated individual, but I didn't cause myself. I didn't ask to be here. I'm an innocent victim of the world around me. You have to see how much that you buy into this idea and how much you perpetuate it in yourself. I'm on my own, but it's not my fault. Victim scripts. Just about everybody has a victim script, including collective racial memory. Whatever race you find yourself in or identify with, there's going to be some kind of victim script behind that. You know, the Native Americans were victimized, the Chinese were victimized, the Jews were victimized, the Irish were victimized. Everyone is victimized in some way. The Egyptians were victimized. It's any race you identify with is going to have some form of historical victim script. Okay, so you have to realize that you're not a body, so you're not any of that. You're infinite consciousness. Your life itself. You're eternal. You're not a race or a body. I couldn't be stressed more. If you get caught up into that, you'll spend an entire lifetime believing in the historical illusion that you came from bodies. You know, we did not come from bodies. You could say that we were never born. Our body was born, but we were never born. So that's the saying, you can't serve two masters. There's the flesh and the spirit. The flesh is weak, of course. It ages and dies, and yeah, I know. What else here? One of the most important things, see the world as a classroom. It's like we want to see it as a playground, but really it's a prison, a medical prison lately. Put on your mask. That little tiny speck is going to fucking get you. God's wrath, that little tiny speck you can't even see. It's keeping you like, I'm so scared, I'm going to die. What's the next evil on the list? After that tiny little speck is, you know, supposedly done, there'll be something else. Oh, it's cancer. Oh, it's a germ. It's a virus. You know, so we have to see the world beyond the prison and beyond the playground, you know, and I mean, make the best of it, of course. You know, it's make the best playground you can out of it, but at the same time, it's, you know, you might as well use this time while you're here to enjoy as well, you know. It's just that, see it for what it is. So, oh yeah, the purpose is to see it as a classroom. If you see it as a classroom, it doesn't matter whether the situation's good or bad, whether you find yourself healthy or sick, or in a good place or bad place in your life. You can see it as a classroom. You can see every opportunity, good or bad, as a classroom to help awaken from the spell or the dream. see every attack as a call for love is another key idea. So only bodies can attack each other. A mind cannot attack because a mind is one. We're all joined as one mind, but as separate bodies, we're in a fallen ego dream state. So in that fallen ego dream state, your ego can direct your body to attack, whether it be physically or mentally, or in most of the attack that goes on nowadays is just kept privately. People just sit and attack inside their mind, and then when they, on the surface they're all, hi, I'm your friend or whatever, and then underneath there's this rumbling of, that's this judgment and division. So it's the key to freeing yourself from that. It's when you see and hear like attack on the news, it's to see it underneath every attack is a call for love. Underneath every attack, unconsciously, what they're really saying is, please show me I'm wrong. Please show me my thought system of separation, guilt, and attack is wrong. Because most people, that's the only way they can see, because that's the world of bodies, and the vulnerability of the body is set up to keep you entrapped in that. That attack is real, and that guilt is in others. It's not in our mind. Because really, we're all one mind. This is a dream state, so it's just the idea that we can be, it's an idea that we can be separate on our own, and that attack is real. When in reality, attack is not real. Only an illusion. Only an illusion. Only in the clay. Castles made of sand can crumble, but not infinite mind. Infinite mind cannot harm itself. We can't harm ourselves. We can only act out the fantasy of harming. So that's why we have to see every attack as a call for love. Hopefully I can expand on that idea too. I know that it takes a while to understand that, to clarify on that more. I'm going to work on that. Everything I talk about in these videos is what I most need to learn myself. So you got to share it to have it. There's something like that. I can't remember that saying. You got to give it away to keep it. And all these things, all these ideas are things that have traveled with me for years and years and helped me. And I hope these videos, my intention in these videos is to share these ideas with others. So I think with that I'll close. Hopefully I can expand upon these ideas more as time goes on. And I will look forward to seeing you in future videos. Hope that helps. Take from it what you can, leave the rest. I will look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.